Hey, everybody, we'll give it a few minutes for any late comers to join, and then we'll get started. In the meantime, I'll put the link to the agenda in the notes. Maybe we'll give it 2 more minutes, and we'll get started 4 past. All right, I'm showing 4 past the hour here. We can go ahead and get started here. Welcome, everybody, to meeting 76 of the OpenCost Community Meeting Series. We'll get started with some community updates here. The biggest one, which I've been promising for months or maybe even years at this point, but is getting sort of our calendaring and the logistics of this meeting sorted out. So we now have a public calendar that is all set. I've sort of updated all of our documents with a link to this. The beauty of this, right, is that people can self-service, right? That they can register, this can get added in their calendar, and they'll get reminded about it. So, we don't have people, asking how to get an invite or missing meetings because they don't know it's occurring, right? Um, so that's sort of the first part of this. As also part of this admin time that I devoted, we are going to have now an APAC EMEA meeting. Right now they're double booked, but eventually this meeting that we're in right now will be every other meeting, right? So if we meet once every 2 weeks, um, we will have one meeting a month at this time, right? 4 p.m. Eastern Standard, and then one meeting 6 hours earlier on the offset, right? So one meeting a month at 4 p.m. Eastern, one meeting a month at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll look at a blog post where we'll announce that later. But this way, this hopefully encourages folks from all over the world, right? We obviously have contributors from all over the world. I know, especially for the folks in Asia, it's very late. So yeah, hopefully by doing this we can accommodate sort of the global nature of this better. Yeah, right. So, it's basically it's going to go EMEA, APAC, North America, EMEA, APAC, North America. Um, so since we're recording the meetings now, folks can just catch the meeting not in their time zone on YouTube if they want. Any questions or thoughts on this? Cool. Um, in terms of events, KubeCon EU in Amsterdam is coming up. Rajith, our community maintainer, will be representing us there. We have a 30-minute maintainer talk, so open to ideas or things that people want to see talked about there. It's going to be a what's new with OpenCost talk, right? And then a 5-minute lightning talk again, just getting in front of as many audiences as we can and promoting OpenCost. Semi-related to community stuff is it would be nice to have a bot that will post meeting reminders to the OpenCost channel in CNCF Slack. Right now, I am that bot and I forget and I'm inconsistent. So, we need to see if we can even integrate workflows in that channel, but post, a day before, an hour before, stuff like that to help folks remember. I did update this meeting too, by the way, to send an email 2 hours beforehand. Again, to help folks remember to come. Any other community thoughts or notes, questions? Wonderful. All right, getting on to sort of the code side of things. OpenCost infrastructure, not too many updates there. We're working on deploying the Gateway API because in 2 weeks time or something like that, Ingress Nginx will be end of life. And that's what we're running in our demo. And it'll be a matter of time before CVs are on it. So thanks to Christian has sort of raised his hand to work on this. And yeah, so we'll get to it in the next couple of weeks, I believe, chatting with him about that. So thank you in advance there, Christian. Other news here is we're still working on getting CloudCost connected. I think one of us is just gonna, use a credit card on it because nobody we talked to is willing to have their cloud spend public as part of our demo, which is entirely reasonable. So we'll just generate some load, a couple bucks and spend a month just to, people can go onto the demo and see what monitoring CloudCost looks like in OpenCost. So yeah, that's it for our infrastructure item today. Also on integration tests, no real new updates there. We still have a couple blocked integration tests. One governing pod restarts. Menas and I are going to have to work through that. Because we can't have a test that fails when there's any pod restarting. So we need to accommodate that. The other one's network costs. Matt had some interesting ideas here where we can basically fake what cross-region traffic looks like, right, by telling the cloud costs, the network cost daemon set, like this IP range is cross-region, even if it's really not, right? We can't really deploy cross-region clusters. It's just a constraint of CNCF. And then have different iperfs, hitting cross-cluster or hitting specific site or ranges to simulate cross-zone, cross-regional traffic, which would be great to get some test coverage there. Yeah, just revisiting this. I doubt I've still updated the link, so I'm just going to go to the most recent one. Where is this? OpenCost demo. I believe that we still have some comparison tests failing, although maybe we're working on getting them closer between Prometheus lists and prom lists. Like just looking at the numbers, like these are pretty typical what we have been seeing daily. 25% differences in values, some networking stuff by 100%, CPU by 20 to 40% between a Prometheus and Prometheus backed instance. Work. I don't know. You said you'd have a go on it a while ago. I'm sure you've been sort of busy.
I
Is
will
this something?
keep. I'm keeping it on my to-do list, mate. Sorry, it hasn't been done already.
Okay, cool. No, that's fine. I just didn't know if you wanted to hand that off. That is
I do
definitely
not. It needs some eyes. I just, yeah,
not
personal
guilty.
stuff's been going on, so apologies for that.
Cool. All right. Thank you. So yeah, that's the I'm just gonna note that down. Uh, so that's what's going on with our integration tests. We had some flakes on them a few weeks ago, but they're back to passing. So those are back to being a merge requirement for the integration tests themselves and OpenCost core. What else? Also, no new updates on our AI sub-project. Again, Adesh, one of our mentees for the last term, has developed a private model container that will at minimum provide a chat interface, without any sort of subscription to an AI provider, and opens up an interesting series of questions. So like having AI drive savings optimizations. Um, the Docker file sitting in the repo, we still need to like containerize it, exercise the containerization Docker file and deploy it on our cluster and stuff like that. So yeah, there's still to do. Contributions welcome. All right, moving on to the UI. We've released 1.119.2, so thanks, Christian, for uh, releasing that for us. We can inspect it for its bug fixes and stuff like that. A lot of det bumps on the UI. You know, yeah, as most of it, almost all of it, an include idle fix, some contributions, definitely smaller stuff, so worthy of a patch here. Uh, Thanks to Warwick here, this is our first one, I think, that is publishing S-bombs, which is awesome. So, we're improving the whole supply chain story across the suite of sub projects here. Um, yeah, that's awesome to see that just sort of work. We can look at some quick PRs here as part of this. The first one is custom aggregation options. So implements custom aggregations to an environment variable. That's interesting. Um, Custom ag options. And then it basically looks like it overwrites some stuff in okay, here it is. So then it adds in here a number of different base aggregation and then appends things to it. Um, Stuff like labels and other things like that, which is pretty interesting. And then does a Docker runtime modification to the files, which I guess is the pattern we're using in this. I think it looks good to me. If this renders, I say we put it in because it is deactivated unless someone brings that in. Yeah, I mean, the base stuff works fine. So we haven't regressed anything there. Does anyone have any objections here? I don't think Copilot found anything. All right, cool. That was slow today. We'll approve that and toss that in the queue. Great. Um, the next one is an overriding currency feature, which seems straightforward enough. I'm not sure why this is 4,500 lines of changes. Oh, I see. It's adjusting a lot of stuff not related. Um, I don't feel comfortable merging this. Is anyone screaming for this feature? Otherwise, we'll ask this individual to go back and just like have this basically. Uh,
Treat US dollars like UTC, right?
what's that?
I treat US dollars like UTC and just keep it.
Eh, I mean, yeah, do you think we should just close the whole PR then in that case?
I don't think I mean, they've done a lot of work there. And Like I haven't read up on what the driver was for it.
All
Um,
right, maybe regardless, like we'll have them reduce the change set size. Uh,
yeah,
cool. Um, yeah, so that's okay. We will say left them a comment, which yeah, so we'll revisit next time. Cool. I think that's it for the UI PRs that we had selected for review today. Um, I think if we just look at the UI, the majority of the PRs are folks doing the programming assignment for the mentorship this spring. So that's sort of out of scope here because we'll only wind up accepting one of them. But if anyone wants to check out the cool work that folks have been doing and the ideas that people have around revamping the UI, more than welcome to.
yeah. If anyone has 5 minutes, I suggest doing it. There's some really, really cool stuff in there. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm blown away by the creative ability of these people. It's amazing.
it's there's a lot of submissions and they're very good.
Yeah, we're very lucky.
So this will be our hardest sort of selection process yet. Yeah, so any maintainers feedback welcome for sure. Because it's Warwick and I that are co-leading this, but definitely anyone who has input for maintainers is definitely welcome to influences. Cool. Any other UI thoughts? There's a couple stuck PRs as sort of usual there uh, on React versions and stuff. I didn't bother listing those because we already had two PRs to review. Cool. All right, looking at the website here, the first thing I wanted to hit was this blog post that I wrote. I tried to have AI vibe code it. It blew it. So this is 30% AI, 70% me. Just announcing that on March 5th, which is 2 weeks from today, right? We will switch our meeting schedule, and on March 5th, we will host our first EMEA APAC meeting at 10 a.m. Eastern, 1500 UTC, and then 2 weeks after, we will host the meeting at this time. So if anyone wants to review this, if anyone is strongly against this, now is definitely the time. Otherwise, we'll publish this hopefully on Monday, and I'll update this meeting link and the Zoom meeting stuff. Um, what else? So we'll look at some PRs here. Uh, right, this individual has been reaching out to me about this PR. So it's move community page to a standalone page, fix navigation, and then styling updates. I'm going to open this up, and then I'm going to go to just another open costs. So we can compare. This is what, 455, yeah. Um, community. Oh, no, I'm not seeing a significant difference here. Uh, huh. Um, yeah, I guess I'm not sure because community was already its own tab. Uh, where was this? Testing, different screen size, check file sizes. You have community page to standalone page. Oh, I see. Okay, it's over here. The change is over here. Um, so if we go over to the nav community, huh? Am I missing something here? It's under overview, community, before changes, after changes. Uh, I don't know. I can't really distinguish the changes here. Um, and it's a substantial change set here. I'm inclined to ask this person to help us come up with a manual test plan. Here, community, Slack. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's a bug fix. Enterprise standards. Yeah, I'm gonna ask them to uh, let's say test one, two, do that here versus the site. Ooh, all right. Yeah, because if it's not immediately apparent to me, Russ. All right, the next one is 465 here. Fixed links using absolute path. This is from Thomas. All right, cube cost. All right, uses a bunch of path fixes. I think this is fine. This is on install. So if the install page isn't broken, I think we can help it here, right? I think this is fine. Installing OpenCost, Cost API. Yeah, I mean nothing looks obviously broken. Does anyone have any objections to this going in? Oh, and Sean already proved it. Look at that. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Thomas. Go in. Cool. Um, couple of stuck PRs on the website here again is these big debt bump, Dependabot, Uber change set things. I guess it only comes down to like a couple things in the package, but then the package log's very large. It doesn't build. So, just calling that out if anyone is interested in poking around that. And I think the same thing, Tailwind CSS is a big deal here. So yeah, it's stuck. These are stuck. These are mostly here as help wanted. We'll spend a few minutes here looking at the open issues. I just noticed that we're sort of creeping up in open issues. Um, Oracle logos to contributors on front page. If we can like just close out one and make some incremental progress here. Uh, maybe. I think we already have Oracle logos. All right, described in this issue, and it's merged. All right, so I think we can close that. Great. Um, Clarify environment variables issues. Are these still relevant? How to configure that? Does OpenCost still emit KSM metrics? Does anybody know?
Yes.
All right, so then that's still legitimate. Um, cool. And then, yeah, just a bunch of different opportunities here. OpenCost.yaml. Yeah, submit the. All right, this person offered to help. Maybe we'll ping them. So we'll at least make progress on a few issues here. Any other thoughts about the website? Yeah, a bunch of stuck PRs here. The blog post, which will go out if anyone wants to review it for me, maintainers, and this Linode's been blocked for a while, and then a bunch of we looked at this one, and then a bunch of blocked DIPums. All right, hearing nothing, we'll continue on here. All right, the OpenCost core or OpenCost. Sean, I wanted to see if you wanted to give us some cube model updates, and I'm happy to steer wherever you want to steer me here.
Yeah, I'll just give a few updates. We've spent last few weeks kind of documenting and planning to incorporate the kube model more deeply into the uh, KubeCost product. So, essentially all that has been just getting time allocated to work on this. What it's going to look like on the KubeCost, or sorry, the OpenCost side of things is that we are going to get back to getting the kube model both hydrated and kind of getting it into its final state. Um, Not final state, but kind of fully fleshed out V1, I should say. Um, we're looking at getting the FinOps agent to export this kube model data. Um, and where that is kind of leaving a gap for OpenCost is one, how is OpenCost going to um, I guess put out kube model data. We talked a little in the last meeting about persistence of the kube model and how that figured in with current paradigms of our read-only APIs. Um, and then the second big thrust of this work is replacing our allocation and asset pipelines with data coming out of kube model. So one of the big things there is going to be incorporating a pricing model into OpenCost, um, which we could use to do the same thing in the OpenCost space. So yeah, kind of a lot of moving parts there. I know that was kind of a bit of an information dump, but yeah, I think things are starting to move forward with the Kube model, and it kind of opens up some opportunities in open cost to uh, be able to utilize that new data set.
Are you still thinking of pushing Cube Model bin gen from OpenCost directly?
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a possibility. I think it makes a lot of sense, given that Kube model is a recording data model.
Mm.
Um, it is not meant to be queried. So um, I think if in this meeting we ever talk about a kube model API, um, we should really be pumping the brakes because that's just not what it's for. But what it does do is it enables other APIs, which is kind of what this thrust of replacing allocation and assets as a recording model, because at their core they are meant to service um, user experiences, um, and they just so happen to be the recording model. Well, what's up?
Yo, I just maybe a semi like leading question here, but like does this open the door for like open cost to maybe one day take something like the kube cost, uh the model is or sorry, the kube model itself and like use it to I don't know, write tables in like a SQL-Lite database or something, somewhat lightweight that is easily queryable? Or is that just
Yeah, I
crazy
mean,
talk?
I think as is, we're exporting kube model as um, bin gen, and the tooling will be an open cost to do that. Um, Not necessarily the processes to do it, but we could come up with some sort of Parquet exporter um, that is maybe more readily adjustable by whatever tool a community member would like to use. I think that might be a, just off the cuff, that might be a better approach for making things more open-ended. Yeah, well, I mean, I think people would like to use a SQLite. I'm sure there's plenty of people who would like to use that, but
Yeah,
uh,
implementation aside, yeah, that was the point. You understood the point of the question. Yeah, it's just like what maybe what are our possibilities like in getting something from kube model, because I think what's so cool about this is it really does start to really like hone in on this idea that we've always had, which is like OpenCost is really like, a model builder and sort of a metric emission, and also like, like I guess like provider data kind of all welded into one. And we've been, trying to peel these layers back and have like separate modules that you could sort of piece together and do whatever you want to with. And so I'm just trying to like figure out like, hey, I mean, like what's so if we can like what other uses of kube model, could we use on the like purely open call side? And it sounds like, Parquet is definitely what I think is, again, the more modern approach here, because Parquet is clearly queryable. Um, and there's some, yeah, I think that's mainly what I'm getting at, is that when you say like it's just purely the model, it's not, we're not meant to like dig through these structs and try to answer a query, but you can sort of unpack the model itself and into something that's more suitable to a query. Is that, I guess that's what we're doing with KubeCost.
yeah, I mean, that's what we're doing with KubeCost. Yeah, the obvious things to do here is, doing it with asset and allocation in OpenCost. Um, but yeah, I think, it's supposed to be extensible. It's supposed to be relational. We can even like implement, kind of an interface with some examples of Parquet exporters from kube model for whatever specific dimension the user wants to, pull Kubernetes data out of the kube model. Um,
Sean,
yeah,
are you going to hydrate these V2 structs from both Prometheus and the Prometheus list collector?
yes, that is one of the big points that was brought up in during the planning.
Okay.
And that's as it stands today. Kube model pre V1 with resource quotas does have several new metrics which um, do not export to Prometheus. So that is something that will need to be remedied.
I have no choice but to join on cloud cost data, either public pricing or some integration or something. Because, I'm sure as everyone can see, right? And as Sean and Matt have been saying, there's no costs here, right? This is just usage.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's exciting. Does anyone have any questions here on the new data model that Sean and Matt are talking about? All right. Thanks to you both. All right. So a community member named Tushar, oh, and he's here. Hello, Tushar, had submitted some issues that he had reached out inquiring about, and uh, we said we talk about it in this meeting. It's basically, some stuff here where it's like, and Tushar, do feel free to hop on here and if I butcher this too much. Um, but it's basically looks like some error comparison, right? It compares the error to itself. Yeah, I mean, this seems like a pretty straightforward bug. uh, yeah, that's not great. Um, get month string. Yeah, I mean, I think this is definitely, yeah, I think you've got the idea. I think that's definitely you won't get much pushback on fixing that. Um, and then anywhere there's a to do, basically, uh, first call my consume events. Second one, yeah, I mean, these look like pretty like uncontroversial fixes here. Um, does anyone think this issue should be closed, or you know, can we let Tushar, whoever else from the community, have a go at it? So I am definitely on like go have a go at it side. All right. Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, thanks for finding that one, Tushar, for sure. Next one, settings, change handler logs, hash flush, but doesn't do anything. So settings on go, meant to clear caches when pricing or discount changes, flushing cost data caches, but doesn't actually do anything. Oh wow, yeah, look at that. We block on the channel, and yeah, I mean that's certainly a bug. Um, Sam would feel differently. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely bug. Uh, all right. Yep. I mean, you're two for two here, Tushar. Like, if you want to have a go at this, you let us know and we'll assign you to it. Otherwise, it'll be in the issues for anyone to grab.
Okay, Alex, I will be verifying to open PR for both of them. I've tested locally. I will
Oh,
have
all right.
an PR in 1 to 2 days.
Great. Then I'm going to assign you
Okay.
so that no one snags those. Oh, did I click on? Hold on. Oh, I'm on the help chart. Mistake. Great. Thank you. These are bugs for sure, for sure, for sure. All right. Excellent. All right. We'll look at some PRs here. Time boxing as we can here. All of a sudden, we have 53 open PRs on OpenCost Core. So the hope is we can bite down a few of these here. It looks like this one adds support for GCP C4 instances in the pricing API. So some parsing, and this is related to this closed issue. It's interesting. All right, let's see what they've got. What does Copilot say? Don't appear. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that don't merge the peer description. Yeah, that's interesting. Sustained use discount, C4A, unit tests for sustained use discounts. Yeah, so it looks like Copilot's calling out testing, but it doesn't have really many concerns about the actual implementation. Uppercase, parse page of instance type. It's that. So then again, this is just a big pile of parsing, basically, right? Yeah. And it contains C4 instance, C4 standard, C4 ARM, C4 standard. And if this is C4, C4A standard, C4 standard, C4 ARM. I mean, this looks good to me. I don't hear anyone bang their fist on the table looking at this code here. I think though that the C4 I think I'm going to ask for this person to oh, you think we should send it? All right.
I mean, no, I respect your feedback. I was just being overly optimistic here. I agree. I think if it's saying that it needs specific test cases, maybe we should just request that they add those test cases.
All right. Yeah, great. And then I can just merge this later once I add tests. All right. Four. All right, great. So then that individual has some action items, hopefully not too hard, too much work, whatever. All right, prevent negative costs from rolling window queries with data gaps. Calculate start and end. Start is greater than end after clamping. That's nasty. Promise collector mode, daily buckets. Clips in a daily bucket that contains data before the window start. Interesting.
This is already setting off my spidey sense. The mention of start and end.
But people are using, it looks like collectors now, right? Maybe. Um,
Okay, so we changed line 2520 and 2521 to fix the weird node overlap issue. Remember
yeah,
that we were dealing with? That was
yeah,
one of the problem.
yeah.
But it looks like after all the clamping, if start is after end.
Return a zero duration interval.
I wish Nico was on this call. I don't know that we wanted to do that.
Okay.
So maybe just let's maybe drop a mention for Nico here and just say Bolt wants you to look at this line. Because again, I feel like you can very easily be very rational and logical here. And there's some bomb waiting downstream. So yeah. Because Nico and I did talk about this and like what you could still end up with after these different truncating and like what the end result could be and whether or not it was still a problem. And we did cover these cases, so I just wonder if this is asking for trouble or not.
Great. That's a great resolution. Yep, sent that note out. Our next one, and we'll continue the discussion, obviously, next time. I should have mentioned you in it too. That's you can have a go at
Oh
it.
yeah, no, it's all good.
Um,
Yeah, this is mine.
oh man. All right, we need to just reject this one out.
I got in a fight with Copilot. I'm just kidding.
Assertion. All right, I mean, target scrape tests the target with the existing.
It's right. I could do that suggestion.
Okay.
It just wants to strengthen the test case a bit. But its first case, it can fuck right off. Oh, excuse my language.
Um, all right. No, I think that's good. I mean, the change itself is fairly non-controversial, right?
Yeah. It wants me
You're
to
closing
tighten the
loops.
constraints. Yeah.
All right. So looks good. Pending co-pilot suggestion. Excellent. Yeah, just ping me when that's
Okay.
ready, Matt, and we'll get that in. All right. Wow, we're cruising right through these things. All right. This one, Work, you had already had a go at it. and I just noticed that this the person is pinging again, so maybe we can resolve it. They are adding a regular expression calling for at least one character, and looks like, yeah, and then they add test cases. So we want to support at least one character. Um,
Am I? Huh.
This is a very odd use case, by the way, in my.
yeah.
So the list of the four requirements there, I literally grabbed like straight off of the node name requirements. So if we're like changing them or adding more,
Paint at least one character.
so I mean, I guess the question really is like the description of node name requirements. Did they just leave off like, or can you have a node that is literally an empty string?
I think
I
there's like
shudder to think of that. Sorry,
a full character, right?
why wouldn't the existing regex capture one character? Must begin with. Oh, I see. So this is saying it requires, it must start with alphanumeric plus at least
At least one.
two, at least two, and
Oh
then
yeah.
the repeating operator, right? Um, so that's probably why it was choking, whereas they updated it to be uh it must
Any
start with
number.
alphanumeric and optionally, right? I thought question mark was one or more. No, I
Bro,
guess
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, the star is 0 or more,
right,
right?
zero or more. Okay, all right, yeah. So I guess this makes this entire thing optional. I mean, it looks good to me. I wouldn't ever name a node a single character, but I don't know, give the people what they want.
Yeah. I mean, again, my only argument was like the four descriptors that regex came from was essentially, I it came from the list of like qualifications for what a node was from Kubernetes. So
Mhm.
that's where it got enforced. But I can't also imagine Kubernetes allowing like a 0 character, like literally an empty string as a node name. So
Yeah, I think that seems super dangerous.
wrong. Yeah. So
And
yeah,
I mean,
probably a good change.
it's almost like it must start with an alphanumeric character.
Yeah,
Empty
like that's it.
is
Yeah.
not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe my regex was not capturing the requirements properly. That's a good point. I didn't even think about this. Must start with a alphanumeric character as encompassing the requirement for a single character.
Cool. All right, we're gonna chuck that in the queue,
Yep, sounds good.
and I'll approve this stuff, whatever. And that'll get full integration testing actually now, since I merged changes in. Cool. Any other OpenCost core stuff here? Very productive review session there, almost 10% over open PRs. So cool. All right. Next up, the Helm chart. Tushar, hi.
Hi Alex.
Hi.
Just a nudge on PR 3543 when you have the time.
Sure. We'll hit it. Hit it 3, 5, 4, 3. We're a little bit tight on time tonight, Tushar, but we will. I'll take that as an action item.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks for all your contributions. Cool. All right, on to the Helm chart here. Allow cloud cost secret to be optional. So Ishan, curates these and sent this to me. I'm trying to understand this person's use case. Ishan, do you understand what's going on?
No, that's why I wanted it to be discussed. I was not able to understand the use case because we could actually just set the cloud integration secret to empty string, and it wouldn't mount it to the deployment, right? If
Interesting.
we
Or would it
just
attempt to mount a secret named the empty string?
no, I just had I tried helm template and it did not.
Oh, okay. Um,
But I do not understand the use case though.
all right,
They
let's.
specifically say that if the value is set, I mean, why don't you unset it?
The only like reason I could possibly think of is like, do we enable cloud costs enabled if like do we require where's our environment variable governing cloud costs? Yeah, this is a mega huge file.
Oh, I can mark that. I saw Thanos listed. I can mark that off of my bingo card for today. Thanks.
Thanos.
I
Oh boy, yeah, we need to go in and clean that.
mean, that's deep trauma right there. Is
But
what that
I
is.
think people are actually still using Thanos with this to do multi-cluster OpenCost.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Like cloud cost enabled is governed differently from the cloud integration secret. So, Sean, I think I agree with you in that, um, like we'll ask this individual to explain more about it. Cool, good call out. Um, yeah, those one-line PRs, you think you can slam dunk them, but we'll see what they have to say. All right. Another troublemaker here. Hunter is gzip Azure billing support, two minor issues. So he is basically wanting to mount, if we have a cloud integration secret, we mount var configs, and we could push back that empty configs was no good here. And then this was moved so that you don't run under the differentiator. I think so. These are all like fairly straightforward changes. So when we define a cloud integration secret, we mount an empty dir. And I think we talked about this. As long as all the mounts at var configs are subpath mounts, and we're safe. Um, Ishan, did you have any? Are you for or against this? Did you have any feedback on it?
No, I did not go through it much, but I think there are cases where this could be needed. Maybe OpenShift messes things up, and we need an empty directory.
I think it's
Or
safe. Like everything that's being mounted on the empty dir is a subpath mount, which will work.
yeah.
All right. Of course, he's going to have to bump his chart version. Yeah. Well, cool. All right. Very good. Right. And then the Helm schema stuff. Uh, Hunter gave an update last week. He's not here right now, so we'll table that. The last thing here again is a to-do as we sort of just lay out action items for community members or anyone who wants to get involved. Um, you know, work has sort of taken our first step for us in tightening our supply chain with the SBOMs. We need a bunch of other stuff here, like Helm chart signing, image signing, right? Secure images, stuff like that to improve our supply chain story. So yeah, just calling that out, help wanted, basically. Yeah. Any thoughts on any of these projects here? Sean, did we hit everything that you wanted to hit here?
Yeah, M chart is good. M chart is good.
Great. Thank you for your maintainership of that. And Jesse too, actually, of course, for both of you for maintaining that project. Cool. The last item here is OpenCost plugins. These haven't changed very much. This is more just a to-do for me. We've had a lot of great submissions here, maybe some folks on the call. If anyone wants to review these and have a go at them, the hardest part is testing them, right? Because you need accounts for all these GitHub stuff and Snowflake and whatnot. Yes, so if anyone has a thought here or wants to test this against their GitHub installation of their Snowflake, yeah. So those are just here. Our last item is the Spring Linux Foundation mentorship. The OpenCost UI revamp. We had talked about this a little bit in the UI. Hi, Docs. I see your message. We are right now selecting the candidates. So we're reviewing all those PRs. Yeah, we've seen your PRs and everything like that. Yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more time on it. A lot of great submissions there. So we'll have a look. Yeah, and if anyone, any maintainers want to weigh in, more than happy to have that input. And that's it. We're almost at the end of our time here this afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. Does anyone have any items to come back to? Hi, Jetri.
Hi Alex,
Hi.
I just wanted to discuss an idea regarding UI repo.
Okay.
I was thinking about adding Lighthouse into CI to track basic performance and accessibility. It may help us notice anything if it's dropping the UI, so we may catch it earlier during the PR. So just wanted to check whether this works or not before doing anything else further.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of Lighthouse. I forget if I've worked with it at prior jobs. But yeah, we'll never turn down a CI improvement or an enhancement, failed test, upload action. Is Lighthouse, it's a hosted service. Is it free for open source stuff?
Yeah, it's free.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's awesome. That would be amazing. Yeah, feel free to file an issue too, and we can assign it to you so no one competes with you on it.
Okay, I will raise an issue, then I will raise the PR till
Great.
the end of the day.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. That's a great idea. Any other thoughts, comments, questions? Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, we're at the end of our time here. In 2 weeks, we're going to be meeting at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 1900 UTC. So our, Indian, Asian collaborators don't have to join us at 2 a.m. or whatever time it is for y'all right now. So for those of us who can't attend that time, the recording will be on YouTube, as will this one. So again, thank you, everybody. Yeah, great conversation and good progress this week. And yeah, see you in a few weeks.